It's an ML Sports Take here, brought to you by our good friends at Welch & Company Jewelers and St. Bonaventure University's online masters in journalism. Go ahead and get started today at sbujournalism.com. So I wanted to do this video today, just real quick. I say real quick, but maybe 3 to 5 minutes on just something that's been, I think, an ongoing frustrating thing that isn't just from my seat, but from people who approached me a few weeks back when I was at the RC. And my man Dan Davidson, my man Matt Motika, my man Owen Gregg, right? My man Mark Alberti. Like all you guys, like we text, we message, you know who you are. And then other people who come at me who are just people, from the alumni base, like anybody. Anybody hit me on social, I'm going to respond. Messaging or, like I said, approaching me at the RC when the Bonnies got run off the court by St. Louis. I was there for a string job for ESPN, and it's come up a few times. Like, this team is way better when you look at them from a talent perspective. And I'm not saying that they had transfers come, from, Duke, North Carolina, Arizona, Texas Tech, and what a hell of a win they had last night, by the way. Kansas and wherever. But these guys are long, lean, and, they've shown that they can play. And there's some pretty good athletes here. I don't care where they come from, whether it's multiple D1 schools like Frank Mitchell or it's Joe G from Mars. You look at the potential and the length of an Osasui. He's playing 14 minutes against Duquesne. You almost kind of look at that, go, I mean, should that be 22 minutes at this point of the year, right? Like Lanati, I think, probably should have played a lot more this year. And I look at all these players, and not only should they be better record-wise, not only are they, I think, talented, this team is so consistently inconsistent in so many areas that they can't put wins together. And the other part of that, this is the main crux of this video, is that I feel like Bonaventure isn't playing to their strengths enough. I mean, they have, as it was pointed out by Motika, my man Matt Motika on my Facebook, and by many others through the year, like, they have X amount of players shooting, above 34, 35% from three. So why is it in your own gym you only take 9 threes? And we've seen that happen all the time. Like, they should be shooting more than 9 threes a game. And when they get off their three-point game, it seems like they shoot more threes when they're relatively on, or even going into a game with season average in your mind, you would hope, with the 6,292, playbook, right? You feel, okay, shoot more, right? Because that's what we know. We know that they have 6,292 plays in a playbook, right? We hear it all the time, every telecast, every time. So I don't know. I look at this team, and that's one area where it's like, okay, we'll shoot more threes. And then if you're playing 8 guys, I almost feel like, I mean, could there have been a 9th? I don't know, health-wise and all the rest. But, like, if Lanati plays more, do you have a consistent 3 off the bench where Joe G and Lanati and Osasui are growing to the point where maybe you just come out at the beginning of the game and press like crazy to make them do something stupid, to make them get out of their game plan, to get you controlling the game script and the game rhythm to the point where you can run, because Bowen's an athlete, and Simmons is an athlete, and Charles is an athlete, and Egbunawe is an athlete, and Osasui is an athlete. Like, they're longer and leaner and better maybe than they think. It seems like they could use their athleticism more. That's a strength. It seems like they could shoot the 3 more, especially at home. That is a strength, or a potential consistent strength. The Frank Mitchell thing has driven me crazy, because I know he gets 20 and 13 against Duquesne, and I know his season averages look good, 16.1 and 9.8, but, like, there have been so many times where he's gotten those numbers, to me, at the expense of the rest of the guys. And I'm not trying to knock Frank Mitchell here, because I think a lot of this is scheme and coaching, and I think it's BS that he's been getting the ball this much. But, like, to me, Frank Mitchell at 6'8" and 270, like, we know what his strength is. His strength is not to be standing outside by the three-point line like Chad Venning. Okay, here you go, and the defense knows it's coming, and the screen, and the high screen, then he runs around, and then he's going to be double teamed, but you're still going to dump the ball to him. Or he's not low enough on the block, you're still going to dump the ball to him. How many times do we have to see this? I've already gone over 5 minutes, so this is going to be closer to maybe 8 to 10. But I just feel like this team has so many strengths, and those are not being maximized, and they're not coming to fruition. And more athleticism being used even around the mid-range game. Like, this team can create off the ball. This team can create with the ball. I've said it a million times, like, can't you get a Charles and a Bowen and some of these different guys? Like, they can play very well from the mid-range. If they get to the mid-range, they can either blow by if it's open, or they can pull up and make a jump shot. Where are these play calls being, manifested into in right onto the court? I don't, a lot of this is coaching, I think. And like, it's most of my frustration is coming from offense, believe it or not, even though the defense has been, I think the defense has had a terrible year. A lot of it is just not getting out on shooters. A lot of it has been maybe effort, which concerns you because, I don't know. I mean, are these guys already getting calls about NIL? I don't know. Inside these locker rooms, we don't know what the hell goes on, whether it's at Bana or a Power 5 or wherever. But I just feel like I see athleticism. I see three-point shooting. I see a lot more possibilities offensively from their skill set standpoint. Lunati can shoot the three. I mean, Lunati's a decent three-point shooter. Well, if he's playing more, 15 minutes a game, is that something that could have been possible this year for Lunati? So then if he's in there more, he's shooting more three-pointers, especially if you could, create some plays for the guy. But, as of now, where is he even on the minutes played? He averages 8.6 minutes a game. Like, where are you going with that? Right? And it shows that he's a 23.4% three-point shooter, but is that because he doesn't get enough reps to shoot enough? There's some developmental things going on with this team, right? These guys, a Charles, I like Caden Charles's game. I like Igbounoue's game. Like, I love Buddy Simmons' game. I just feel like maybe some of the things that we see, the potential that's there, and I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm not saying that this is easy in NIL portal and, guys maybe get deflated quicker. And if you know that you're jumping from the school, like, the effort might not be there. Like, there's a lot going on behind the curtain now than never before. And I get that. But, like, how far can how long can you go with that? Like, the excuses, right? Like, Danny Hurley doesn't use those excuses. And now, granted, they're a top 5 team in the country and they're a championship contender. But he's got players from Michigan and Georgia. And, yeah, he has program guys like Caravan and company. But he's used the portal enough. Virginia, Louisville would bounce back in a year or two, and they're not talking about that kind of stuff. Now, again, if you lose and things start to come unglued, they have some of the same problems, yes. But why is Bonaventure 14-11 right now? Why are they 12th in the A10? Folks, they're one of the worst teams in the A10. Why are they 3-9 in this conference? Why do they have losses to LaSalle and St. Joe's and Fordham and Richmond in a row? And the VCU one started that 5-game losing streak. But why? Why, since they were 11-2, have they only gotten 3 more wins? Like, what? Why? And I know that the non-con a lot weaker than the A10, but how much weaker are the really bad teams in the A10 than those other clubs? How much weaker, how much better? I don't know. Is Siena close to a St. Joe's? Probably. St. Joe's is 15-10. They're 4th in the A10. St. Joe's. Like, no disrespect to them, and I'm not saying just because, like, the Bana love that we all have, like, well, they should this. You can say that about a lot of teams in sports where, like, you should. I've been told that the 80s Mets should have won more than one World Series, and I keep trying to tell people why they didn't. Like, shoulda, coulda, woulda, okay, but And I'm not asking for victories in every A10 game. In fact, during that 5-game losing streak, I'm not even asking for all 5 of those to be wins. Like at VCU, okay, I get it. But like the other 4, I mean, 3-1, 2-2. And the RC has become like a joke of a home court. I mean, Richmond, Fordham at home. Maybe you lose to Richmond. Can you beat Fordham? Can you split those? Can you split St. Joe's LaSalle? I mean, and we saw some of this against Colgate. We saw, they had to come back from 1 million points down. So I just wanted to kind of get into, like, I think maybe not getting to a point where you're maximizing strengths this year. A lot of it through play calling and coaching, maybe through effort, maybe behind the curtain stuff that the players are going through and that we don't know about. I don't know, but it's just, listen, I'm not alone here. A lot of people like this roster better than what the record says, right? So something's going on. Something's going on. ML Sports Take here, brought to you by St. Bonaventure University's online masters in journalism and Stumble and Monkey Brewing Company. Thanks to select partner friends of the program as well, Dan Davidson Jr., Dan Davidson Sr., Matt Motika, and Mark Alberti. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.